Hi Sag, welcome to 8 of Cups Tarot. Welcome to your cards for October. In the spirit of maintaining expectations for the month, I just want to say that October is not going to be easy. There's no easy energy throughout the month. We actually start the month on October 1st with a full moon in Aries conjunct Chiron. And we end October with a full moon in Taurus conjunct Uranus. So from day 1 to day 31, things can seem like the situations are rapidly changing. Information's coming out, you're understanding yourself better. We still have Mars retrograde, still working on that square with Saturn. The sun is in Libra in your 11th house. That might be a somewhat nice placement for you, although it is also making squares. So there might be an essence of not being able to connect with others, not being able to, it just seems like October, we're kind of on our own. And I'm picking that up in a lot of these readings as well. There's not a lot of other people's energy within these readings. And I think that's a lot of reflection of where we are with this full moon in Aries starting out the month, because that Aries energy is where it's really all about you. It's really all about what's going to work in your life. What are you willing to accept? What are you not willing to put up with anymore? And it's all about change. It's all about changing our life for the better. It doesn't necessarily mean the changes are pleasant, but there are things that we're working out through October and November that are really going to put us a step closer to, our path, our purpose, our vision. Accepting change from other people as well. I think it's an important time to understand that we're all on our individual paths, and we simply cannot control other people. We can't make decisions for them. We can't keep people in our corners if they don't want to be there. So it also brings up a lot of energy involving control in our lives, what we do have control over and what we need to release control of. It's a really special time. It's also going to be a time collectively where we're really kind of placed in, we're stepping out of our comfort zones. There's so much information coming in. We're learning so much more every single day. And I think a lot of October, because of the Mercury retrograde, especially in Scorpio, and because of the Mars retrograde squaring Saturn, I think that a lot of things are happening now for us to see things from a different perspective. We're kind of getting the real story behind all of the stuff we've been lugging around through 2020. All of the things we thought were going to work out, and here's why they didn't. All of the reasons why we thought people were going to stay in our lives or play an important role in our lives, and October comes and you realize they're not. And so it's part of accepting the next story, accepting the new thing that's going to come in. We're making space right now. October is a lot about making space, coming to terms with situations. It really is all about embracing change. Now we have Venus moving into Virgo, which is your 10th house, Sag. That's a nice softening aspect as well. Venus in Virgo can kind of help you really get down to the details. Your career, your job, getting things in order. Things are being set up for you. So it's really not all about negative stuff. I do want to say, Sag, and I'm not sure if I've mentioned this in the other videos, but we're really moving into a time where that South Node is extremely powerful. And the South Node is in your sign. Now, I can promise you I've dealt with the South Node in Cancer and Capricorn for the past 2 years. And when the South Node is in your sign, it's usually an indication that there's a lot of things that you're releasing and letting go, and kind of growing into this new you, growing into this new life. And looking at these cards, it seems apparent that there's a situation that you need to look at a little bit closer to understand it in order to be able to move on. So this month, Sag, you are coming out as a Queen of Water. I think somebody else got this as well, and I can't remember if it was Scorpio. I'm not sure. But this feels a little different for you. This feels to me like you're in a mode of self-care, a mode of self-love and protecting yourself, protecting your emotions. The Queen of Water can be very intuitive, and it's intuitive to your own needs. How do you fill your own cup? How do you take care of you? Sometimes when I see this card, it's apparent that we've gone through a situation in which we have to sort of pull back and retreat and regain our strength so that we can move on. Your environment card, or your surrounding or your situation, is that of the Three of Pentacles in reverse. And this tells me that there are situations that you're no longer willing to build on. Maybe people you don't want to work with anymore. Situations that aren't working out. They're not panning out the way that you thought they would. And this is okay. So this is where I'm getting that element of needing to retreat, needing to take care of yourself. I think October might be a little bit of a self-focused month. Now, like I said, that full moon in Aries can really put us on this, it's time to do what's best for me. It's time to do what's best for my healing. It's time to reimagine a new future, and it's something that I can control. So the Three of Pentacles can often represent other people, your expectations of other people. Could mean that other people aren't quite cooperating with how you thought things were going to go. Things may not be going your way. Three of Pentacles can also be significant for marriage. Maybe you were in a situation where you thought that it would ultimately lead to marriage or a higher commitment. Could mean that you are expecting some kind of funds or a loan from a bank. You know, we have Saturn, Pluto, and Jupiter all moving direct in October in your second house, your financial sector, your self-worth. This is some big energy. Your overall energy for the reading is the Four of Pentacles, meaning that there's something that you're holding on to. If this is in regards to finances, it might be a time where you thought certain money was going to come in, a loan, a credit card, a student loan, and it's not. And so you might have to get really creative. Underneath this came the Magician. I'm not going to keep pulling these because we can go out all day in this pile. I want to get to these cards. But I feel like you're creating right now. You're in a mode of changing and recreating for the future. Sort of coming out by the end of October as this visionary. Which means October you might have to really pull the purse strings. Now that could be financially, second house matters. It could also be with just your energy. What are you willing to put your energy into? What are you willing to invest in? And the Four of Cups, especially with the Queen of Water, tells me that you're reaching a culmination or a point where you can no longer invest in things that aren't going to give back to you. Really good energy here. I find there's a lot of intelligence in this, making really good decisions for yourself, not dragging certain things on, holding on to the things that you have. And I get a certain level of appreciation with that Queen of Cups and the Four of Pentacles. Maybe things just aren't going the way that you planned. Maybe a lot of people in your life are kind of dropping the ball, leaving you to carry the heavy burdens. Now the first row of your 9-card block is the Two of Pentacles, the Moon card in reverse, and the Eight of Swords in reverse. Yeah. I don't want to keep saying that full moon in Aries, but this moon is going to be a big deal, guys. It's really, this moon is special. Now, this is coming up in your 5th house. It could be involving your children. It could be involving, you know, the people that you're dating. Karmic partners in your life often show up in the 5th house. And it could just be an element where you just want to be able to enjoy parts of your life and not allow other people to kind of dampen your happiness. If you're allowing a lot of other people to inject their opinions of some creative project, it could feel almost exhausting. And honestly, Sag, I think you're going to get to the point where you don't really care. You don't care what other people think. Maybe you don't even care what other people are going through. Like I said, this is an energy of doing you for you at this time, making your life right, which is really an intelligent decision at this time. At Two of Pentacles in reverse, I don't think this is your energy. It might be. You'll know better. Remember that energy is fluid. It can come in vice versa. I might actually be explaining somebody else in your life right now, and that's okay. You'll know how it fits your story, and it's still relevant. Two of Pentacles in reverse. It seems as though you might have felt like you were in 2 different places in your life, maybe investing in 2 very different things. So oftentimes I see the Two of Pentacles as needing to decide where to invest your time and energy. When it's in reverse, sometimes a decision gets made for us. Sometimes somebody else drops the ball. Sometimes we're forced to kind of collect ourselves in order to harness our energy. Two of Pentacles, along with the Three of Pentacles, yes, there's an indication that maybe you were in a 3-party situation of some sort. It doesn't have to be an affair. It doesn't have to be like that, but where you really felt like your energy, you were juggling situations, juggling, you know, maybe being, trying to invest in your career, and yet there was a lot of needs coming from family or friends or loved ones. And the Two of Pentacles in reverse can often symbolize somebody not being able to juggle anymore, meaning that something comes to culmination, something begins to feel overwhelming, like you can't handle it. Now, the Moon card in reverse tells me that maybe new information came to the surface. Maybe you're seeing something or someone very clearly now. The Moon card can represent something being somewhat mysterious. So if you were in a situation or a relationship, you weren't quite sure what this person's intentions were, what they were really feeling, what they really wanted from you. Well, the Moon card in reverse, especially under the Queen of Water, tells me that there may have been some sort of communication, some sort of information coming to the surface that made you really change your perspective on the situation. And the Moon card can sometimes untie us karmically from other people. And that's definitely highlighted when we have the Eight of Swords in reverse. I like this card in reverse because it means you're becoming unstuck. And a lot of October is going to be about getting ourselves unstuck from situations that don't serve us. Now, see, in this card here, when it's upright, it's a little bit easier to see. She's blindfolded. And with that Moon in reverse next to this card, I think that you're starting to see a situation for what it is. Something really opened your eyes and got you unstuck. Now, whether unstuck. This is my new word for October. It's going to be all about getting yourself unstuck. I like this energy because whatever comes out in the beginning of the month frees you. It frees you from maybe, like I said, a lot of energy and love being put in a situation that wasn't deserving of it. Now, capping off both sides of this, we have card number 55, Taming the Wind. Oftentimes, this represents miscommunications. Things that we didn't see clearly. 55, often breaking down to a 10, it's an ending. It's the ending of a cycle. And yet, I think even though you see things for what they are, there's still more to understand from the situation. And I hate to say that because, Saggy, I can almost hear you guys like, oh my God, I just want it to be over. I just want to forget it. I just want to walk away and move on with my life. And yet, Taming the Wind card means that there's further communication coming, more facts coming out. Now, the Moon card is in reverse, meaning I think you know everything you need to know about the situation. However, there's still some sort of perspective, some sort of cleaning out, some sort of forgiveness. Maybe this is just a forgiveness of yourself for being in the situation in the first place. Next to that 8 of Swords in reverse is card number 1, the Yang card. Now, this has everything to do with this Aries full moon, where you have to just make decisions based on what's best for you. Yang card representing sort of this masculine energy who probably follows his instinct on how to protect himself. He might be moving into self-protection mode. You might be moving into the need to really get things done, get things moving, make things happen. If this is a love situation that fell through, you may certainly change your perspective in the month of October and start to really look at other areas of your life that maybe you have been neglecting. Now, this could be vice versa as well. Maybe you have a falling out or something happens at work. Things start to fall apart at work. And your general happiness, your safety becomes number one early on in October. What do I need to do for myself? How do I get myself back on track? How do I tap into those masculine energies of really going after and getting things done? Okay, this might be the mode that you're in. The only warning sign here, and we're going to get to it in the second row, is don't avoid these emotional situations. You know, if you're putting on a brave face, oh, that situation ended, it just is what it is, it wasn't meant to be a part of my life, and move on. If you're putting on that kind of a game face where you don't want anybody else to see that you've been hurt, you've been disappointed, I don't really know if you're going to get that choice. I'm not sure that you're going to be able to come out of this situation really on top like you think that you are. And that's okay. That's okay, because the things that you're about to go through are really going to change you at a soul purpose, at a soul level, kind of like this DNA level, where you approach these situations much differently. Now, the second block is the 5 of Wands. I'm sorry, the 6 of Wands, the 5 of Wands, and the 9 of Wands. That's a lot of fire, which tells me that you are obviously in your ego. Not a bad thing. Now, I'm seeing a lot of masculine energy here, stepping into who you are, what you want, and what you deserve. And the second part of October, or maybe middle of October time, really becomes a need to move, a need to make some really substantial changes. Now I really want to pay attention to the Six of Wands card. I'm going to jump around a little bit because I think we need to. Because this guy, this Capricorn Saturn energy, the devil, comes out right underneath the Six of Wands, indicating a couple of different situations for me. And this might be different for everybody. So if it resonates, take it. If it doesn't, fine. Maybe it'll make more sense later. But I think what's happening is there's somewhat of a taming of the ego. Coming out of a situation where you really had your sights set on something happening, on investing with another person, on things really coming together. And then there's this ultimate disappointment. And it braces you for change. It braces you to be able to recreate your life. And you seem to be open to the challenge. You seem to be ready to make this happen. I don't see a whole lot of regret, remorse. I don't see you being stuck, depressed. You know, the Queen of Water, I think you're taking everything in intuitively. I think you're relying on your intuition, which is also an indication of all these Wands cards. You know, it's not just the water cards that talk to me about intuition. It's often the Wands as well, because there's intuition with fire, right? Fire is ideas. It's the need to get things done. It's our higher self telling our body to move, to get something accomplished. So therefore it is intuitive. And the Six of Wands often represents the need to put on a happy face for others, the need to show that somehow you come out victorious. Maybe it just means that walking away from the situation kind of made you feel like you had the upper hand. You're doing what's right for you. Now, the Six of Wands card can also represent really being watched, really being seen. I want to say really being seen in October. Maybe you're displaying some talents. Maybe you're really putting yourself out there. Maybe you're decide that you want to start dating again. If, like I said, if this was a love relationship that kind of fell apart, maybe you're ready to get right back out there. You know, because the Six of Wands is all about victory. It's all about overcoming the obstacles. It's the energy of Leo. It's the energy of obtaining a lot of attention from other people. So we could be really in our ego when the Six of Wands comes up, and for sure when it's accompanied by the devil. We're really, you know, I hate to say it, but we could be really inviting those rebound relationships in, okay? The fact that the Six of Wands comes out next to the Five of Wands tells me there's a lot of inner conflict. You might be doing things in October to kind of soothe the hurt ego, to kind of patch up any wounds. If this person did anything to make you feel like you weren't enough, you weren't good enough, you know, especially if there was a third party involved and there's a feeling of being competitive, like, you know, what does he or she have that I don't have? What am I doing wrong? You know, I think you're taking power back in those situations, which is great. But we want to be careful that we're not going to repeat the same mistakes. Underneath that Eight of Swords is a Nine of Wands. Guys, I can't get over how much it's like you freed yourself. You freed yourself from a situation that may have been very dishonest. Somebody may have been really deceiving you or pretending to be something that they weren't. And you come out victorious and you come out ready to fight for yourself. But I think the truth that comes out does kind of do some damage, you know. This full moon on top of Chiron means some really deep wounds are about to be poked. Somewhat like a provoking energy, drawing your attention towards ways that you might actually keep yourself blocked off. Okay? This 9 of Wands is where we need to play it safe. So if you're injecting yourself into dating situations, getting back into the swing of things, putting that profile up, really enjoying getting all of the likes and talking to other people, yet here you are, Sag. You are in a place of not really being able to open your heart. You're protecting yourself. You're protecting your ego. You're not allowing conversations. You're not allowing yourself to really soften and open. This is kind of really protecting yourself. And I think this is kind of your operating mode, Sag. I think this is sort of a cycle for you. I think what happens is that you get out of disappointing situations and you really focus on you, and there's a lot of ego in there. So the need to recover via the ego, meaning you might need attention or assurance from others in order to feel good about yourself. That in itself is an issue. Queen of Water, you have to be able to embrace your own beauty. You have to be able to truly love yourself. So if you're coming from a place of wanting to just get back out there and date, not telling you that you shouldn't do that. I'm just telling you that October is probably best spent in this mode of healing and understanding the situation that really happened. Really embracing the ways in which you were hurt and disappointed, coming to terms with why these things happened in the first place. October is a real energy of accountability, and it really forces us, again, Mercury retrograde in your 12th house, really forces us to look at how we connect to others and the role that we play in our own life. If we're all walking around here saying, and I'm guilty of this as well, relationships never work out for me. I just suck at them. I attract shitty people. I think I had somebody tell me once in my life, and it really did resonate with me. They said my picker was broke. I always picked the wrong people. So maybe that's what's happening. Maybe you're starting to realize in October that you're really just picking the wrong people. And you might get this realization, you might get this kind of light bulb moment. Mercury retrograde, it's here. And it might really make you want to move, to get back out there. Like, okay, no, I made this adjustment. I figured out what I'm doing wrong. I'm going to get back out there. But yet there's still a healing period. Because if you're carrying these wounds of not feeling good enough, the people that you're going to attract are not going to be able to really connect with you, not in the long term. They might be filling short-term voids, but these probably aren't people that are going to stick around forever. Now, whatever you want to experience, you experience. Whatever you want to invite into your life in order for you to learn about yourself, because that's what relationships are. Oftentimes we like to think that we're here to really meld and mesh with another human being and build a life together, but no, the reality of it is we're learning so much about ourselves by being with other people, by enmeshing our lives into each other, by learning how to depend and trust on others. And a lot of times it bounces back to being able to trust and rely on ourselves. Now, this final week, moving into this full moon, and remember, in between we have a new moon in Libra, which is your 11th house. I find that to be somewhat of a nice placement for you, because I think that you're going to start finding support. You're going to start finding those family, those friends, groups of people, 11th house stuff. It could just represent kind of lucky breaks by other people. Friendship even, really focusing on the counting your blessings kind of energy. And then we move into this next full moon on October 31st, leading to a very eventful Halloween, most likely, because it's conjunct Uranus. And Uranus is the most unpredictable planet. It's very unpredictable. It should be very interesting when we look at how it's going to affect us in the U.S. with the election. But Uranus is the awakening planet. It literally shakes you up and wakes you up, and it takes you out of your comfort zones. If there are areas in your life where you're very stubborn, which is an energy, very fixed energies here. This is kind of the card of Leo. It does kind of represent Mars to me in ego and pride sort of way. And then here's Saturn, meaning your ego is only going to get you so far, okay? Putting on a happy face and pretending everything's okay while you really keep your heart in a cage, unwilling to open up to new situations. If you're looking to lick any of your wounds by getting involved in maybe sexual relationships that don't really have any kind of an emotional investment in them, they're probably going to bite you in the ass by the end of October, honestly. To me, this seems like an energy of kind of putting off the inevitable, which means the reason why relationships aren't working for you probably doesn't really fall 100% on your partners. There's probably things within your emotional being that need to be addressed. You have the Devil, the Seven of Cups, and the Ace of Swords. There's a couple different stories I'm picking up here, and I want to go back to this really quick. Next to this Six of Wands, this victory, this ego, this everything's fine, I'm fine, I can have anybody I want kind of energy, you get the Balance card. I bring a state of perfect harmony into my world, and I do so without judgment. Okay, so that's Six of Wands. This is kind of the so-and-so did this and that to me, and F them, and I'm moving on. I'm going to find somebody else. I'm going to get that Tinder page going. And you may be trying to really heal yourself by getting attention from other people. Oftentimes I see this happens when, especially if you're in a situation where you've been cheated on, where, you know, you have been a real hit to the ego, because we want somebody or other people to help us, to make us feel better about ourselves, okay? Queen of Cups means you actually have to do the work. Now this Nine of Wands comes out next to the card of change, and I like this because there's a circle, meaning that there is a need for you to look at your own pattern in your life here. This kind of rebound energy, this kind of need to survive, to get attention from others. The card of change. I understand that nothing can grow or evolve without movement. This is Uranus getting you out of your comfort zones, changing the way that you look at things. And I think, Sag, the fact is you're putting yourself in situations that are not emotionally conducive for you. It might be convenient relationships. They might be situations where people feel safe because they're not emotional. They're not all over the place. They're not getting deep, and, you know, they just feel kind of, they look good. They look good on paper, right? but the honesty and the truth isn't there. And maybe that ego thing is kind of like you just want somebody else to be there, regardless of who they are or how they are. You just want them to kind of be there. Kind of like wanting some kind of arm candy, or wanting, just a partner. And I don't say this honestly to insult anyone. Believe me, we are all dealing with our own self-built mountains of shit in October. And we all have to deal with this. So again, that judgment card, there's no judgment here. But you have to really look at why you're putting yourself in situations, why you're getting into these relationships. Now, this Devil card next to the Seven of Cups feels very overindulgent. If you are overindulging, partying, drinking, hooking up with people just to heal yourself from this disappointment, it's really not going to get you anywhere. It's going to make matters worse. You're not going to see this clearly. Seven of Cups is a card of confusion. It's a card of, I feel like I have so many options, or the need to have so many options. And the Devil there tells me that this is a cyclical pattern for you, Sag. And the Ace of Swords card under that, underneath the Eight of Swords and the Nine of Wands, is the truth. The truth will come out. The truth will prevail, whether it's through communication with others or through you being able to see your own mistakes. See how you are selling yourself short. Sag, the thing is, I think deep down you want a truly beautiful and emotional connection. And the person who's not allowing that to happen is you. Because that Five of Wands is that inner conflict. Now it's surrounded by two cards representing confusion. Self-conflict in what you deserve, and what you're offering to other people, and what you're investing in may not be serving you. If you're looking to hook up with shallow relationships, if you're trying to get into relationships with people that really aren't there to help you emotionally grow and evolve in a relationship, yet there's something very attractive about these situations. There's something very light, it's almost as if you're really afraid of getting to know yourself, or really afraid of letting others get to know you. Next to the Devil is the new moon in Gemini. Communication is key. And then we have the Sword, Ace of Swords, and Vulture Spirit. Nothing is wasted. Now, I can't shake this feeling that this situation from the beginning of the month is going to continue to haunt you until you face some very hard facts. There might be communication coming in. Maybe you have to talk to this person. Maybe there's pieces or parts of the story that you're not quite understanding. And you might be operating from a mode of anger and revenge. Okay, Scorpio, Mercury retrograde in Scorpio in your 12th house. There might be feelings where you really want to kind of get back at this person or hurt them. Maybe you want to hurry up and start dating somebody else and put it on display so that they could see that you've moved on. Vulture Spirit, no matter how hard that relationship was, there's so much pertinent information that you can get. There's so much understanding that you can get if you're willing to really look at this situation truthfully. And I think in this, it's willing to look at yourself. Now, the Taming of the Wind card, number 55, can also represent misunderstandings. So you might really be in this mode of getting back at this person. You might really be hurting this other person, and it might have been a misunderstanding. The whole thing Maybe you thought they were having an affair. Maybe you thought they were cheating on you. Maybe you thought they were being dishonest. There's definitely more to this story. Even though that moon card is in reverse, there's more for you to look at and see. Vulture Spirit, nothing is wasted. I actually want to read this card to you really quickly because I think it kind of sums up the whole essence of what you need to go through. Now, whether you do it or not, it's up to you. This is just guidance from Spirit, what they really want you to look at, because ultimately, Spirit wants you to have that really beautiful relationship, that connection with other people, and they want you to be able to open your heart. And if you're constantly coming from a place of revenge or retaliation, very Scorpio theme this month, you're really not going to learn how to invite a different kind of energy into your life, or how to embrace it. And considering you're coming out with this 9 of Wands, it's you carry all these hurts from these failed relationships, and then you don't invest your heart in the relationships that you should have invested in. What seems hideous has its own beauty, and the recycling and repurposing the vulture does is as important as any other activity in nature that supports the cycle of life. Vulture Spirit's message is that nothing is to be wasted, for nature sees value in everything that exists. What seems rotten and ugly has the potential to be transmuted into something beneficial. And you are reminded that any suffering you have experienced has not gone to waste. Wisdom and understanding that arose from the experience are talisman that will serve you on your journey wherever you go. What is decaying is only changing form and will fertilize seeds you wish to plant, turning that which has passed away into the substance that will support new growth. All that you might wish to deny or discard has value and can be repurposed and reintegrated into the new that you are becoming and the new life path that you are dreaming into being. No pain was in vain and no experience was wasted, for you have the power to use it to co-create something far better. This is a miracle in your partnership with Spirit. Do you wish you could run away from your past or deny your mistakes? Not so fast, says Vulture Spirit. You have gained something valuable from the experience. Let your grief or anger move through you, and soon your emotions will transform, for you will come to see that you have learned and grown. The alchemy of transformation is a gift from Spirit, so never disown what embarrassed, disappointed, or shamed you. It will soon be a source of great wisdom and strength as you work with the magic that allows miracles to be created out of sadness and beauty to arise from ugliness. Vulture Spirit wants you to know that you embody beauty, and the alchemical transformation of the past is happening already. Hang in there. You are so loved, and so much beauty is waiting to come out of all of this. All right, Sag. It's definitely going to be an emotional month. Definitely going to be in your feels with that Queen of Water. And I just urge you to not follow some old unhealthy patterns that you have when you get out of relationships, where you just kind of try to patch up the ego instead of really getting to the heart of the matter, which is what you should be spending your time on this month. Honoring yourself. If someone hurt you, honor it. Okay? Heal yourself. Take the time that you need so that you could bring all those really beautiful things into your next relationship. All right, Sag. I do hope that you have a wonderful month. Please take the time to like, share, and subscribe these videos. We're definitely doing a great job. The community is building slowly. I'm going to be putting a little more time into it. There'll be a lot of new things coming in soon. But I am so grateful that you're here. I'm so grateful that you've come to kind of feel out what the month is going to bring you. And I plan on being there for you every step of the way. Okay? Take care, Sag, and I'll see you soon. Bye.